it's Monica Reyes, and welcome to Spiritual Success TV, where spirituality meets entrepreneurship. Welcome back, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm so excited. This week we have a request. Thank you, Apollonia Ponti, for requesting a topic. She would like to know about idolizing in the business world and in life in general. So I started to think about this, and I realized that there's a very important subtopic here, and it is about comparing and competing. Now, as a woman, I'm sure you have been on one end of the spectrum, whether you were the recipient or the one comparing. So I wanted to talk about this, especially because it's Women's History Month, so it's a very, very important topic. So just my thoughts on this. If you're competing with anybody but yourself, then you are sabotaging your success, your business, and your personal growth, because you are sending a signal out to the universe. You are releasing energy that basically says, I am not enough. And guess what? You're telling the universe you're not enough. You're going to continue to get situations, events, circumstances, relationships where you will continue to not be enough. So we don't want to have a lack mentality, do we? No, we want to have an abundant mentality. So I'm going to go into that in just a little bit, but I wanted to touch on competition first. So competing has a very similar effect. Unless you're competing in a triathlon or in a marathon, then competition really is not always that healthy. You really should only be competing with yourself, with who you were yesterday. So if you're competing with anybody else than that, then it's technically comparing. So let's go into some of my strategies of when I start to feel a little bit of, comparing, or if you start to think maybe, you know what, I'm not pretty enough, or she's prettier than I am, or my business isn't doing well enough. I mean, it's important to have role models and to be inspired and to say, wow, like that is like, those are my goals, those are my dreams. It is important to do that. But when you start to compare yourself and you start to put yourself down, that's where it gets a little tricky. So number one, if you start to feel this way, what we want to do is we want to reconnect to ourselves. We want to reconnect to the universe. And how do we do that? So what we want to do is we want to start with gratitude. Gratitude, as we talked about last week, is the fastest way to raise your vibe up. So if you're feeling down, if you're feeling depressed, if you're feeling like I'm not enough, I'm not deserving, or anything like that, or maybe like, you know what, I'm not feeling my best today, start to write down some things like the qualities about yourself that you really like. You know, I really love that I do this. I really love my legs. I really love that I inspire people. You know, I'm a great mom, etc., etc. And I would continue to do this at least 3 or 4 times, write down 3 or 4 things, and if you can do this for at least 30 to 40 days, it'll stick. And you'll start to see that your vibe will change. You'll start to see the relationship between yourself and you will change as well, because it's really important. This is probably the most foundational thing. If you want to find love, if you want to be successful, if you want to happy, you have to love yourself. So let's start to fall back in love with ourselves by starting with this practice. So number 2, embrace where you are. If you are somewhere where you're just not happy, maybe you wish you were somewhere else, and you see a life of what you could have or what you could be, like, that's great. Shoot for the stars, shoot for the moon, set those goals, set those dreams. But you have to accept where you are. And you're not going to move forward until you embrace where you are. So there's actually a quote that Eckhart Tolle once stated, and it was one of the most powerful quotes that I've ever heard, and it was, accept the moment as if you've chosen it. And so if you accept the moment like you chose it, then you're really accepting that moment, right? So that basically just is, so embrace where you are, accept where you are, and that will move you towards your dreams and your goals. Number 3, make sure that those goals and those dreams are yours. It's really great to use other dreams, you know, somebody else's goals or somebody else's dreams as inspiration or maybe ideas, but those dreams, those goals are really great for them, right? So authenticity check. Does it work for you? Is that who you are? Is that really what you want? It's really important to check that out, because imagine you're making all these decisions based on somebody else's dreams and somebody else's goals. Like, what good is that for you? So just make sure to really, really check in with yourself and just see, is this really what I want? Number 4, meditate and mindfulness. I'm always going to go back to meditation, guys, because meditation is the key. Meditation increases your capacity for awareness. You know, there are things about yourself you don't like and maybe you want to work on them, right? Nobody's perfect. But you're not going to catch and correct. You're not actually going to see these patterns and these limiting beliefs until you've developed awareness, which is why I love Kundalini Yoga, because Kundalini Yoga is the yoga of awareness. So, you know, meditate. Mindfulness is basically the art of staying in the present. And what I mean by in the present, meaning you're not thinking about the past, you're not chasing the future, you are right here, right now, embracing, committing all into this very moment, really, because this moment is the only moment that you have. So some kind of things that you can do for mindfulness, maybe get around nature. Nature is intelligent, right? The flower, and I mentioned this last week, the flower doesn't think before it blooms. So get around nature. That's a really great mindfulness check-in. You will feel a connection to the divine, to the source. You'll feel a connection to this intelligence, and it'll allow you to be right here and right now. If you can't get around nature, your breath is a really, really great. It's with you all the time. It's really the thing that's present all the time, and it's automatic. It's run again by that intelligence. You're not thinking about breathing. It just does it. So if you can just close your eyes and think about breathing and just really get connected to that stillness. Another thing you can do is get connected to your five senses. Again, taste, touch, getting connected to what is right now. That is a really great way to get connected to the present. Another great way is creativity and with children. Also amazing, amazing ways. Now, one last tip. Now, if you're feeling like you're comparing or competing, then you most likely feel like there isn't enough for everybody, right? That's a lack mentality. So we want to have an abundant mentality. Remember, we are a part of an infinite universe. There is plenty for everybody. There's plenty for you. There's plenty for me. Even if we have similar, positions or similar businesses, but nobody does it like you. There is only one you. So just remember that. So if you feel jealousy or anything like that, check back in with yourself and remind yourself that there is plenty. This is an infinite universe, and if you're thinking anything but that, then you are feeling a separation, you're feeling disconnected. So reconnect, meditate, mindfulness, and check in and watch my videos, because I will absolutely give you lots more tools and strategies. If you like this video, please subscribe. You know you want to. Give it a thumbs up. I'm so looking forward to seeing you guys next week. So if you have any other requests, any other things you want to see, meditations or anything like that, please let me know. But for now, I'll see you guys later. Have a great week.